Chicago a few years back. The Star Wars Celebration was here. So yeah, for those opportunities to meet the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not why you like sign up to be an actor, but it's a nice perk of the job. What's it been like to go to these cons over the years and kind of see the folks face to face?
You know, it's really amazing because fan relation can be distorted by, articles and social media. It's the only way you really get to connect or see how the fans are feeling. But the cons are more intimate. They get to meet each individual. Everybody has their different opinions and stuff they want to say, and I like that. I like getting into conversation face to face because there's more of an understanding between you and the fans. I love it.
Do they ever give you like a hot take to your face? Do they ever like say
all the time? I mean, I keep it honest with my conversations. I feel like people come up to me and go, "Hey, man, we need you back in a few Star Wars movies."
People have spoken. So when you were growing up, did you go to anything like a con? Was a sci-fi convention ever in your life, a comic convention?
Yeah, but it was quite small. There were like small cons, Pokemon card collector cons. Had to bring my shinies down, get some stuff signed by the voiceover artists from the past shows. So yeah, the cons have been a big part of my nerd life growing up.
Did you ever get an actor's autograph? Is it a faux pas on set to be like, hey, I mean, we're colleagues, but would you mind signing this poster?
Yeah, have you seen my full Harrison Ford exclusive action figure that I brought? Yeah, as you do. Everybody else was trying to be very professional and, let's not ask Harrison Ford for an autograph. Let's not ask Carrie Fisher for an autograph. I have shame. I went and said, can you please sign my action figure? Because you just never know, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I grew up playing the games, Battlefront, and then to be on set and to see Harrison say, good morning, kid. It's to me, it's crazy. So any opportunity you can get to connect to them, get stuff signed, I'm gonna do it.
Do you remember the first time you met Harrison Ford? What that initial meeting was like and nervous?
Yeah, it was actually spontaneous because myself and Daisy were doing the first stage of our kind of combat training, and Harrison, along with a group of people in suits, just walked in and he kind of just looked at us and went, and then he left, and me and Daisy were just kind of like, but it wasn't until after when we rehearsed, had the read-through, Harrison is the type to sit down and talk to each individual with curiosity. So he was kind of like, the first thing he said to me, like, wait a second, you're not American. I said, oh, no, I'm a British actor. So we spoke about several different things. Cool guy.
You mentioned the read-through. I always remember that iconic photo. Like, this was the way that we learned about the full cast at the time. It was that black and white photo.
Yeah.
You were seated between, I think, Adam Driver and Oscar.
Yeah.
Was that did you have a choice in where you were sitting? What was the vibes in that room?
Well, when I went in there, we had the names. They had seating for where we were going to be because they knew that this was going to be their first introduction visually to the fans. But I just wanted to sit next to Oscar because we had done most of the auditions together. So I just felt like that was, when you see your bestie in a new high school, that's what it was like. And so we decided to just sit next to each other just because we had auditions, we were kind of like the latest of the main cast to hear about getting the role. So I had to sit next to my boy, man.
And that was such an unusual, because we didn't know at the time, Mark Hamill was reading the stage directions because
it was phenomenal.
Because he had essentially no part, as you guys recall, in the movie, but he was good at the stage direction.
Absolutely, and threw himself into it. In my head, I was thinking, marketing falls away because you show up at the end, and you just have to do a look, and he's just like, this is a phenomenal experience, and to be reading these scenes, I guess for him, was totally nostalgic.
So, okay, let's go even further back on the Star Wars front, because I know the audition process was a very unusual one. It was months and months and months and months.
It was.
How many auditions would you say you had to go through?
I can't count at this stage. I did so many auditions that when JJ gave me the part, he apologized. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm so sorry, but you got the part, but I'm so sorry to put you through this. And I'm like, yeah, JJ. And it was like 9 months. It was really like a long time. But for Star Wars, I mean, I mean, however long it takes. So yeah.
But the weird part of, I mean, a lot of weird parts about it is you didn't really know the part. Like, you didn't really know how fully formed that character was.
See, now it's been a few years, and you know, we're out of the franchise a little bit. I can start telling a little bit more of the truth. Now, I did know that the role was going to be quite big because I actually put someone else on tape for it. Another actor that I knew at the time just came up to me and said, dude, I've got this big, massive audition. And you know it's not that. I'm like, oh, what audition is that? He's like, dude, I think it's Star Wars. And I'm like, okay, cool. What role is it? And it was like the male lead. That's what they put in. It was like male lead. So you kind of know that you might pick up a lightsaber, you might be a stormtrooper. You had a few scenes, but I knew about the scene before because I had read for another actor for the exact same Finn scenes. So once I filmed that scene with my friend, I called my agent. I said, what's going on here, man? Let me in there. And funny enough, in maybe like 2 months or 3 months after that, there was always plan for them to come to London and audition actors out there.
Is this friend still a friend, or did this end the relationship?
No, he's doing quite well in his own right. But yeah, we definitely helped each other out a little bit about audition tape for it. But I got it.
He's not sitting up here now, is he?
But he's sitting in his own throne and doing quite well. Okay. Yeah, doing well.
Do you remember you must remember the precise moment you got the role?
I did. Yeah, I do remember. I will never forget the day I got the role. I mean, I auditioned so much, I thought the day would have come. I was actually on the other side of London that day, and J.J. Abrams sent me a spontaneous email saying, where are you? I had been auditioning for so long, so I felt like he kind of took away my dignity a little bit. So I decided to pretend as if I was busy. You know when you just pretend that you're busy, so that's all, like, I got other stuff to do, JJ. I don't care about Star Wars. So he goes, where are you? And I said, hey, I'm at this art show, mate, in Greenwich, mate. I'm very, very busy. Where are you? He goes, well, I'm in Mayfair and you're in a restaurant. I need to talk to you now. We need to talk about something important. I go, okay, I'm gonna be right there. At the time, I had £45 in my account. It took £33.83 to get to JJ. Do the math. And so when I got there, I got to this restaurant. One side of the restaurant was completely busy and normal. And then when I looked to the right, there was the other side of the restaurant that was completely separated. There was a wall separator there, and there's just one guy sitting on the table in the middle of the empty side of the restaurant, which was JJ. So I go in, each step I took, I was nervous. I was like, okay, cool, this is cool. You know, JJ is a phenomenal, nice guy, and if he was to tell me I didn't get the part, he would still feed me. So just because I'm at dinner with JJ didn't mean that there was a guarantee. And so I sat down, and JJ just said, thank you so much for coming back. I know we've kind of, grilled you with this amount of auditions. At that time, I took it upon myself to try and get another audition and go like that. JJ, please, look, I can audition again. I can do Finn, British, Scottish, Nigerian, whatever you need, accent wise. And he goes, no, John, you want to do Star Wars? I was like, the moment froze. Like, I even noticed how many sugar cubes were in this very posh little cup that was on the table. Like, everything felt very surreal. And then just to put the Star Wars stamp on it, Larry Kasdan walks out and he said, kid, this movie's gonna change your life. And that's some Hollywood shit. You know when they tell you that shit? Oh, shit. That's how I feel.
What was the accent discussion? Was there a discussion about different ways to go?
Yeah. I mean, I tried it British. And then I guess creatively for JJ, it just wasn't, they needed a contrast to Daisy, because they definitely wanted to keep Daisy in her natural accent. But I was open, I was like, well, I've got the credentials for that. So the American, it felt more natural. For me, it felt like I was closer to Han, I was closer to all the characters I enjoyed, so I was willing to be flexible for her.
You referenced your buddy Oscar Isaac. I mean, did you guys anticipate that the audience would respond to that relationship at all?
No, we didn't. But I think it's the romance we established during the audition. Oscar would come to my house. I would go to Oscar's house. We just, we just met each other and just bonded. So I think from that, the audience recognized that. and some of the audience who were a little bit horny said, "Oh." And then all of a sudden, Oscar just started calling me babe, and I was like, what is this fear? It was a good bromance that I think the fans, played with in their own right. We really enjoyed the response, yeah.
What do you wish you'd known prior to signing with Star Wars? Like, what do you know now that you wish younger John knew back then?
I wish I did more of this from the beginning. I think at the beginning, the voice of the negative were inflated by social media, inflated by, you know how it is. They always want to catch us with a clickbait. They always want to catch us with an opinion and sway us. And I think that if studios just get us more involved in just interacting like this, with fans, then the fans honestly get to know you on a more intricate level, on a more descriptive level. And I think that's very, very important as you go through a franchise. Apart from that, I didn't know those cheese paninis they had on the Star Wars set was like a big deal. Like, it's really tasty, man.
You missed
best food ever.
You missed those, I think.
I missed those. If I knew that was part of the contract, I would have auditioned for Star Wars earlier. I was a fan of these. I played Force Unleashed. I remember loving Darth Maul, and all of a sudden I'm in front of the real legends and heroes, and you can only hope that you are accepted the same way by the fans in time. Shout out to my boy Hayden Christensen. They were sleeping on you. They can't sleep on you no more. But yeah, I definitely took in a lot of the experience, genuinely.
Do you watch the films differently? Not even the ones you're in, but like watch the original trilogy differently now that you've been a part of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I know it. I say that to my family all the time, and they're like, "Yeah, John, we know." But yeah, definitely, I watch them differently, and it's weird now to watch them and also being a part of that legacy. That for me, it makes it more different. Kind of like, while the Ewoks are fighting, I'm like, Finn isn't here, but he's gonna be, and that's quite cool to me. It's real cool.
And it's part of your life, like, forever.
Oh, forever. I don't mind it. Star Wars gave me a lot of opportunities. There's been good times, there's been bad times, but I think to be able to navigate through that, you need to fixate on what is positive. And I've been doing that since I left, and now I'm just exposed to the love of Star Wars fan, exposed to everything that's been great and going well. I love it.
You want to rank your 3 films for me? Favorite?
I think I already did.
Did you?
Yeah, on Hot Ones.
Okay.
Yeah. I got in trouble for some Star Wars fans were whooping my ass. I was like, damn, man, why would you?
Well, let me ask you this then, something different. Let's go one by one. Your favorite or least favorite aspect of the experience of making Force Awakens. Let's start there.
I think with Force Awakens, making the movie, I enjoyed myself. I'd worked my entire life of 20-something years to get to this kind of opportunity. So, oh yeah, there goes my boys right there. Well, they can tell you about it. But no, it was an amazing experience. I Force Awakens shooting it, I obviously had done films before, but on this scale it was completely different, and I was just open to it. That opportunity doesn't come all the time, so I was just like, thank you, Lord. And I get to afford my mom's supplements. They're very, very expensive, guys. Supplements, very, very expensive. So it's good to just be able to do for family and while at the same time film and enjoy the experience of one of the best franchises of all time.
Last Jedi. When you think back to that, good, bad, medium, frustrations, happiness, what comes to mind when you think of that experience?
I mean, Last Jedi, they tried to do what they could with that, but I love Star Wars a lot. So in planning the narrative, I would always assume that there would be a plan from the very beginning, much like what Kevin Feige has done with Marvel and developing and spreading out those universes. So The Last Jedi, I was a bit like, some choices creatively, which I have spoken about, not to get into it, that I didn't agree with. Because that was just as a nerd. I mean, I feel like a lot of us are into anime, we're into movies, and we can go back and forth with our friends that are fans of the same thing. It doesn't mean I'm going to detach from the IP, it just means that was whack. I feel like every fan should have the opportunity to do that, as long as it's not, you're not, using it against another person. I think that's the fun of being part of a fandom. We get to debate about our favorite characters. We get to, you know, debate about whether Mace Windu is dead or not. We get to like have those topics.
Do you think he's dead?
I don't think Mace Windu is dead. No. Yeah.
One arm, but he's out there.
One arm is out there. That's even better. So he has a droid arm, and he's going to be killing people by the time he come out. Samuel, I've already told your wife I need you back, man. I need you back.
And then Rise of Skywalker. What's the post-mortem self? What's the analysis of that one for you?
Rise of Skywalker had a brilliant time, but I knew because of the structure change from The Last Jedi, it was really tough on JJ to come back and kind of like tie everything together. And I know he was well supported and everybody wanted to make sure that the narrative came to a complete end in the right way possible. So I was just supportive of whatever JJ wanted to do, being as if we had so much history from The Force Awakens. And some of the narrative about Finn that was established in The Force Awakens were picked back up by JJ in The Rise of Skywalker. And it's hard to do it. It's hard to, you know, establish Urian and establish another Jedi. You have to kind of split things up at the time that you're given. But I appreciate the little things that JJ was doing in there. I mean, I did try to tell Rey before I went down. There was a couple of takes where I just said, I'm a Jedi! There was a couple, but it was good to tease the...
Seriously? You have?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know Finn was force sensitive?
I knew that, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I wanted to say it. I mean, when they're going down into the quicksand, but I appreciate JJ for, you know, putting those Easter eggs in there and trying to expand, so that if there is ever a revisit to Finn, there is stuff to play with.
So, going forward, like, what is the etiquette when, like, Daisy's film is announced? Like, Daisy's coming back, it's in development. Were you aware of that? Does Daisy text you, like, FYI, buddy? Like, how did you find that out?
Miss Daisy. I haven't seen Daisy face to face in a minute. I mean, you text or call randomly, but I found out online because I've been a genuine fan. I watch reaction videos. I'm on the subscriber list, man. I still get the emails as if I'm not in the film. Like, you know, Star Wars: The Force Awakens comes out. I'm like, oh, is it? So I do stuff like that. But so when I found out about Daisy's movie, it made sense. It made sense that to expand the franchise in that way. And I was kind of like, you know, I'm just looking forward, first of all, seeing if it's real, because sometimes we have had a few Star Wars announcements, and you know, development is development. You can't always get it done. But just hoping that Daisy, you know, gets that chance to shine in a franchise that's finally hers, where she is now the bona fide Jedi. I think it's exciting. I can't wait to watch it. I really can't.
Have your thoughts evolved on, like, where you want to see Finn? Like, has it changed from the end point of Rise of Skywalker to where we're sitting today? Like, do you think actively, like, you know, you can only control what you can control, but I don't know, how much is that in your mind, like, where Finn is now?
It's hard to, you know, Star Wars is owned by Mickey Mouse, so it's what he says goes, you know, so sometimes to over-project on the character, you can be led to disappointment about the character. But for me, in my imagination, it could go anywhere. Give me a blaster saber. I want to be able to...
I want the combo.
I want the combo, man.
Yeah.
Who's it? Ezra had the combo. Yeah, give me that guy's thing. You know, I want to be more of a Jedi scoundrel. But apart from that, you know, I'm just more so just enjoying it as a fan now. There's something peaceful about it. I love it.
So, opportunities in the wake of Star Wars. Talk to me a little bit about how you've navigated the last few years, what your priorities have been in terms of starting to produce, starting to choose different kinds of roles, you know, working in things as disparate from Woman King, Detroit, They Clone Tyrone. What's been the kind of methodology of how to craft a career?
Well, really, after Star Wars, it was about who I was going to work with. So I always knew that I wanted to be in projects with other stars where I could learn and grow on these projects, and also if a great enough star is in the project, it affects the quality of the scripts and the other roles that surround the star. So people like Viola Davis, who reached out to work with me, Jamie Foxx, who worked with the development side of the company, started doing stuff with Lakeith Stanfield and Will Smith, and all that stuff is cool to me because, you know, everyone loves Star Wars. You know, there's a love that they have for it, and it does help in terms of people believing in your creativity to be able to collaborate and make more projects. But also on this side, I'm kind of like, I love Star Wars, I love the franchise experience, but I want to get into my Attack the Block bag. I want to get back to Attack the Block bag.
Let's talk. Yeah. What's going on, man? I mean, last time we spoke a couple years back, I was hopeful by now we'd have a movie. Where are we at?
I've read it, man. It's cool, bro. Cornish has done a phenomenal job on his draft, and we're just cooking it to make it right for everyone. And we obviously need more money for those aliens. We want it to look real good for the 2026 crowd. But for us, it's just about developing the story, making sure Moses and the rest of the characters that we have left are fully hashed out before bringing it out and going to shoot. But I'm very passionate and very willing that we will shoot Attack the Block 2. It will happen.
Where's Moses at? All these years later, how's Moses doing?
You're gonna have to see, but the story is crazy. I will get in the gym. Jesus. Yeah.
We talked before about like influences growing up. You alluded to this. So obviously, you loved all this stuff growing up. I mean, I think you said before you were a big Michael Bay kid.
Yeah.
Comic book wise, where were you at? Were you Marvel, DC, anything, everything?
Both Marvel, DC, Injustice, Civil War, and then also into manga. I used to go to Forbidden Planet in London to buy up all of that stuff. And then I go into Star Wars and they said you can come and get it for free. I said, yeah.
And then you showed up every day and they're like,
yeah. Just pre-ordered everything. But yeah, just being able to interact with and read stuff. Comic books expand more about the characters that we love, and I've always enjoyed that.
We're going to go to some, let's get the microphones out if we could, because I want to take some of your audience questions. So there are questions for John in just a second. If we can go. Thank you.
Guys, don't be shy, okay?
No. He's got to take one. So again, I think the last time we spoke 2 or 3 years back, and I brought up the Marvel stuff, and you were pretty adamant, like, I love this stuff, but I'm not there right now. Like, where are you at right now? Do you have a receptiveness right now to the Marvel thing?
I just feel like, did you guys see the Marvel announcement the other day?
All those director's chairs.
Yeah. With Robert, I think they're very busy.
There's room for you.
There ain't no room for me. I'll be real. I can't wait to watch it because I think with Marvel and everything, after Endgame, I was like, wow, how are they gonna, expand the universe after saving the universe? So I think that as just an audience watcher, I have sat down with Kevin Feige, I've been over to those guys, but I'm just going to enjoy it for now because there's a lot going on, but I'm looking forward to watching.
I'm sure you're plugged in though, like you've been fan casted for a lot of different roles. Have any ever, when you see artwork of yourself as a familiar character, that must be kind of cool.
No, it is cool, especially when the artists are really good, man. It's cool to see yourself emulated in any type of way, even if it's the DC side too, I think that's cool. I mean, we've got James Gunn coming out with that crazy, he has to start his whole new universe too, so a lot of people are thinking, but more so for me is to develop the original films, Attack the Block 2 that we left behind, and to do that and then see what happens next, you never know.
Who's an actor or filmmaker on the list? You rattled off a bunch. Again, you have to surround yourself with the best. That's what makes any actor better. Mm-hmm. Who right now are you obsessed with working with?
I love James Samuels. I love Spielberg, obviously, would be amazing. But also what's happening with Nolan. Nolan is making some incredible work. Yeah.
Is there a way to secret that into the universe? Like you can't be like, hey Chris, do you want to get coffee? Wait for that phone call. That's how it works.
Look guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm only 33. I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? I like to acknowledge where I'm at now. So maybe one day I'll look back while talking to you guys saying, okay guys, now I'm here. But for now, I think you have to do the work. And coming out of a franchise, you have to do more indies. You have to prove your versatility. You have to, you have to do the work before you put a spandex suit on again. You know what I mean?
Is the Book of Eli series not a thing? That was announced a few years back.
Yeah, I didn't know about that announcement. I'm like, I've been cast as young Denzel Washington in the Book of Eli. But yeah, that's what I mean. I guess the news flies around and people like to release stuff, but no idea. But good idea.
This is a good person. Have you spent time with Denzel? I mean, this is the gold standard. He's the
never. But I worked with his kids, Olivia Washington, and on the movie I did Breaking, she played my wife in it. So I'm somewhere in the garden area of his house waiting.
Favorite Denzel performance? Favorite film?
Oh, this hard to make. Glory was incredible. Flight, obviously, Training Day. So many, it's phenomenal. Alongside many other actors, Idris Elba, Daniel Kaluuya is amazing. So many actors that I really, really like. Really.
All right, we've got some questions for you. Let's start with you, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
How you doing?
Hi, my name is Benj. I'm from Decatur, Wisconsin. And firstly, I just wanted to say the photo of the cast for Force Awakens, when that was released, that was actually the day I found out I was going to become a dad. And like that photo, the return of Star Wars with that announcement of like, I'm going to be a dad, that was a huge moment in my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He's 10 now, he's bonkers off the wall, super into video games, I love him. But yeah, that moment, that picture just solidifies that. My question is, while shooting Attack of the Block, like, how much of the look of all of that did you really understand and know just from like the practical, because I know a lot of it was practical.
Yeah.
Like, how much of that visual were you able to get on set, and then how much of it was like different when you saw it in the screen for the first time, and all the finished effects and all of the glow and everything that they did for the monster?
Yeah, I mean, shouts out to Joe Cornish. He wanted to make sure that the movie was as close to physical effects as possible. Anything that was possible to do in real life, he would do it. Explosions, the aliens themselves. The guy in the suit was a dude called Terry Notary. He had been the creatures in Avatar and done a whole bunch of Avatar work. I think he even worked with Andy Serkis in some of the 8 movies and stuff like that. And so you saw what it was going to be. Maybe it was just maybe 2 aliens on set, and when I watched it was like 15. I was like, oh. But most of it I got to experience, see, so that really helps portray the role.
Please make the sequel.
No, I have to.
Thank you.
They're gonna kill me if I don't.
We better make that. No pressure. All right, go for it.
Hi.
How you doing?
My name is Charlie, and the very first Star Wars movie I ever saw was actually Force Awakens. I'm 20, so I think I just waited too long, but
We forgive you, man.
but as someone who like grew up like watching Star Wars and stuff, what was it like interacting with like the younger generation, where like you were the face of Star Wars for them with these new films and stuff?
Oh, it was cool because there'd be moments where young fans would be me, Harrison, and the rest of stuff, and the young fans would come up and then they would like derail from Harrison and then come to us. And then me and Daisy would look to Harrison like, and Harrison would go, oh, there's a new generation kid. Not caring. But that felt nice to know that we can always reach out to new audiences. The more and more we interact with the franchise is a beautiful thing. Because I think sometimes, especially when you have a movie from the 70s, there's this hold until, they're never going to be better than the classics. And it's like, a part of Star Wars being such a resounding thing to people was that they were children at the time. It was something that signified their relationship with their father who took them for the first time to the movie. A family outing, there was something nostalgic about that. Hence why there's just such fixation on the old stars. But when you're seeing with the new generation is that they're going through the same thing, that they're very young, being taken by their father, and they get the same imprint, that they got back then. And to see it continue is phenomenal. It's a blessing.
Hi, my name is Jeff. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Just kind of following up on that. You're part of Disney, right? Rise of Resistance, you did part of the pre-show, and there's animatronic. Have you written it yet? And what's it like being part of something that's almost like a term?
I was there last week. I was there last week, and we had a phenomenal time. They need to clean up my animatronics a little bit. His bottom lip was looking a little bit lazy, but phenomenal ride, very immersive experience. And honestly, going to stuff like that makes me feel appreciative again, and it makes me emphasize you've got to just put your energy into the fans that support you. You've got to put your energy into that, because it's a different experience for me, right? I'm kind of walking past the ride, I'm on the ride, I'm in the park. So people come up to you and speak to you, and I just had a great day because a lot of people came and just had such positive words and support. And the rides are phenomenal, man. I had a really, really good time, man.
I'm glad you did. That was a great addition to, obviously I love The Last Jedi. I'm glad you did.
Did you do the Millennium Falcon ride?
Pilot.
Pilot? No, pilot.
Go for it.
Hi, John.
Hey, good.
And I'm definitely in the minority. I'm a massive Bravo fan. You know, definitely in the minority. And I was just wondering, had Ben Solo not died at the end of Rise of Skywalker, would Finn and Poe have accepted the relationship that Rey and Ben would have had?
Things just got real. Things got intense. Simple.
You know, ladies in the room, straight ladies in the room. When he is pursuing you, him trying to kill you is not a part of the romance. Okay? Chasing him and saying, we can become something powerful. I'm there like, I want to tell my sisters to do that. But that kind of reflects off of the spiritual elements of Star Wars. The fact that she recognized the good and was fighting for it. But if I was Finn there, Finn should have had a line and say, girl, leave him be. Come home with me.
Too good. You're up.
Hello, my name is Hugo, here from Chicago. And my question for you, you already touched upon your relationship and your romance with you and Poe Dameron or Oscar Isaac. But also right now, as diversity comes under attack, you know, and there are people of color in the universe. And so just seeing you up there, seeing Oscar Isaac up there, and then just also seeing Black and Latinos, I know they try to pin us against us as minorities. Like, what do you think that represents for Star Wars, and how did you feel that, like, your character resonated so much with people? And even right now, you're saying that the younger generations, like, they swerve towards you, right? And they skip, you know, Harrison Ford, so.
Hey, you know what I say like that?
Don't get him in trouble. Embarrassing.
But no, yeah, I think it's very important. I think Star Wars in itself, you know, so many aliens, so many planets, so many galaxies, that to be diverse within human beings is not really much of a big deal. And I think a lot of Star Wars fans really, you know, cling on to that, especially when we talk about the younger ones who are just used to a diverse Star Wars, you know what I mean? And I think everybody that's in a Star Wars movie, they're not just there because it is. They're also there because they're skilled actors, you know, they auditioned, they worked hard for it. And I think that that's what it should be about, skill set, you know, your ability to come in and do the job. But also it feels good to see and to be able to watch a movie that's this big and for you to see yourself reflected in each character. But look, I didn't have no problem seeing myself reflected in Han Solo or seeing myself reflected in Princess Leia, you know. And I think that it's just a continuation of that. And the more and more people join with great characters and great writing, the more they'll be accepted by Star Wars fans. But if the writing is a little bit off, you know, people have a creative thing against it. That doesn't necessarily mean they're talking about, you know, this. And I think that's a thing that us as a Star Wars community are learning each day. And I think it just makes our community a little bit more fun.
All right, hi there, I'm Brian, and I'm here from Chicago. I'm the deputy editor-in-chief at my college newspaper, and I was wondering, what advice do you have for me becoming a journalist in the future?
Oh man, becoming a journalist. Just stay true, please. Do your research, be meticulous. Don't misquote us. We get in trouble for stuff like that by people we don't know. You know, be meticulous. Search for the stories that are passionate for you. Articulate yourself brilliantly. Always search for a different, unique perspective. Trust you probably do well. Yeah? Best name. Oh, this one, that's a good fit. I like that.
Thank you. My name is Emma. I'm from Minnesota, and my question is, what was your favorite scene to shoot and why?
From Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Or from the whole franchise in general? What do you think?
The whole franchise.
Oh, I love those. In Rise of Skywalker, I love those horses. The horses? What were they called? Those poor things, they were in costume the whole time, but there were horses under there. And we had to go for horse riding, you know, lessons. But that horse riding scene for me was probably the most risky action that I had. So I felt like, you know, Arnie or something. I felt like an action star for about 5 seconds. But great 5 seconds, and everybody was on set that day. I think that's the day my mom and dad also came to set too. I always correlate the scenes I enjoy filming the most when I had family come to visit, and because that was always the opportunity to try and prove to my nephews that I was cool. You know? So I enjoyed moments like that where family was there, and that would be the stampede of the Space Forces in Rise of Skywalker. That was fun. Thank you.
Hi, John. Well, that's not. Hi, I'm Michael. I'm here from Chicago. So we spoke a little about the Rise of Skywalker, those little teases that Finn is force sensitive and he almost gets the chance to get it out, but you know it's not quite there. But we have those little nuggets that we can explore in the future. Let's flash forward 10 years from Rise of Skywalker. Finn's completed his training. He's a full-fledged Jedi. How do you picture his day to-day with that new responsibility? What are his personal missions, and what do you think he's doing 10 years from now as a Jedi?
I think I remember reading an extended comic book or graphic novel stuff that involved Finn, and it touched on him going across the galaxy, freeing stormtroopers that were still part of the old Empire, still part of that mentality, and building a crew, of people. So I always thought, reading that, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. A great crew of individuals who were before faceless stormtroopers, being given their identity and their own personality, and Finn, leading that charge, maybe alongside Jana, and the rest of the crew would be cool to explore. Cool. What's up?
I'm very nervous because you're so handsome. But I love Star Wars now, but I kind of have an actual question about Tyrone. I'm spiritual, so everything that was in that movie, I believe they're putting something in the food, and yes, they're killing us and cloning us. Who cares? But how was your experience working with that? It's a very weird movie, you're getting killed, you're being cloned, and then you're getting killed again, and then cloned again, and then Jamie Foxx is hilarious.
He's been brilliant.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, how was your experience with that, and do you believe the message of the movie?
I choose movies to give you guys messages all the time. I ain't gonna say that I believe they did what they said they did, but it could be in the chicken. It could be. I feel like, Joel Taylor, phenomenal director, young guy as well, is tapping into the conversations that we're all secretly having. We're all thinking about that. We're all thinking about our food and what we put in our body and stuff like that. So I think to build kind of like a sci-fi genre off of that narrative is smart stuff. I enjoyed myself. I guess the hardest thing to do is to play the straight man while Jamie is the funny guy. That's very, very hard. But I had an incredible time. It's one of the best shooting experiences I've ever had. Shout out to Macro, Charles King, and everybody. Really enjoyed myself. And girl, you look good. Don't say that in public again. You look good, okay?
Let's go on to London. I've never been to London, but I'll go.
All right. Nah, maybe not, right? You're up.
Okay, hi, I'm Hayden, and if you could play any other role in a movie or TV show, what would it be?
Good question. Any role in a movie or a TV show. Pedro, I just want to be the guy in Last of Us, just for one episode. Just one. And I need you guys as fans to just pretend as if nothing changed. So when Pedro comes back, you're like, yeah, The Last of Us is a phenomenal TV show. I don't know if you're too young to watch that, but it's a phenomenal zombie TV show. So imagine me as one of the guys in Walking Dead or something. That kind of vibe. I would love to do that.
And can I get a high five?
Absolutely, you can, dude. You're not.
Hi, John.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
My name is Marissa. I'm from Chicago, around here in this area. My question for you is thinking about Oscar Isaac and how he had his character on Star Wars and then eventually became Moon Knight for the Marvel Universe. I know you said you kind of wanted to
take a break from some of that, but if there were a specific character that they had approached you for, who would you want to be in the Marvel Universe?
I don't know. I feel like Kevin Feige asked me the same thing. Like, what would you know, they want your creative feedback. And I was just there like, I don't know. I genuinely, maybe I need more ambition or something.
I don't think that's your problem.
I guess I've been watching Marvel from the beginning, so Endgame was like the crescendo for me. So I don't know, I wouldn't know what they're going to establish with this new universe, with Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doom. I'm like, wow, how are they going to pull this off? So maybe I'll have more of an idea once they come back and establish. Now Bishop.
One vote for Bishop.
Nice man. Ain't bad, bro. You need me to be a client or something? Run it back.
We're making deals.
Yeah, so maybe Bishop. You never know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Carlos Walden Islam. Just to piggyback, actually, you're friends with Oscar Isaac. How do you rate his British accent work in Moon Knight?
My boy did good. And you know what? It was hard for him because he had to do. He was going for more of the South London accent, and that's more me. You know, he sounded a little bit more rapper. So I think that he done a phenomenal job based on the fact that the other guy's not from there. So to go into that, I remember watching the TV show and said, look at my boy trying to sound like me. But I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed him as Moon Knight, and he's coming back, right? He's coming back. Yeah, I'll be so happy if they bring him back and establish that more. Really enjoyed Oscar in that role.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, it's John.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. My name is Binta. I'm from Chicago by way of Senegalese and Gambian parents.
Okay.
My question is, as a first generation person, what advice do you have for others that want to embark in a creative career?
I think it's all about the training first. Like any field, your success in it is based on how much skills you pick up and how much you're able to scale off of that. With acting, it's the same thing. Usually people go, I want to get an agent, I want to be in that film, but you have to scale it back. It's all about the training. The audition is where it starts and the film is where it ends. So start at the starting point, training until you feel comfortable enough and branch out, connect with the community and try to build from there. Nobody can tell you what you can do in acting that's going to give you a direct role, but what I can say that's part of the components is making sure you're a great actor any chance that you get.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I love your outfit. Look good. How you doing?
Hello, I'm Abby. I work in teen services in the Chicago library system here. And you had mentioned that you were really into like manga and comics growing up. And so like I work with a lot of teens who are also really into manga, which I actually know nothing about. So I was wondering like which ones really were important to you when you were younger, and like do you have any suggestions for someone who's new to that and trying to connect with younger readers?
I mean, when I was younger, I started off with Death Note because there was a few people I didn't like. So I was like, if I had a book, you know. So it was cool to, I mean, come on guys, it was cool to follow him through his journey and kind of project it a bit. So there was that, and then, you know, Naruto to me was that too. Also because I felt like Naruto one time in my life where I felt like, damn, I have this dream that's kind of corny to everybody around me in school and stuff. Naruto was becoming the first Hokage. Me was becoming an actor in Hollywood. And the environments that we're both born into, me in London, him the Hidden Leaf, didn't suggest that that's what was going to happen with your future. And to be so determined every time I turn the pages, and no matter what was going on in Naruto's circumstance, he puts his fist in the air and says, nah, I'm going to be the first Hokage, believe it. For me, I was just like, I like that kid. So those were the two that I think is phenomenal. And I think especially for young people, because they're going to go through so much, they're going to have to aspire and all of that stuff. It's good to find that kind of journey that your favorite characters are going through also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm David from Milwaukee, and I was wondering, when you were getting ready to play on Star Wars, were there any moments that you had with Mark Hamill or the older Star Wars generation that they gave you advice on acting, or just how to view Star Wars in general?
No, I think that we were kids, so I think that a lot of you have kids here. The biggest example is how you are in front of them, what you actually do, and it's the same for older actors and stars. Obviously, we're all hired, so we can't waste Disney's time about, you know, how do I be the best actor I can be? And they're going to be like, yeah, John, mate, you're in the film, go to work. But it was great to watch Harrison, Carrie, Mark do the work, you know, get into their characters. It's great to know how they established, you know, like how Harrison established the charm, you know, him seeing Han like a space cowboy and putting that, injecting it into his charismatic performance. I think watching them was more of a thing than going up and saying anything. Number one, I was too scared. Number two, I think that there was so much special moments that, especially myself and Daisy, got to witness, like seeing Harrison rehearse for the first time, coming into the Millennium Falcon and saying, no, I don't think that's right. And then those guys going through it. You just silently sit back, you don't say anything, and you watch. And you learn so much from that I will take for my whole career, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, John.
Hello.
I can see you. I don't have my glasses, so I can finally see you a little bit.
Thank you.
My question was, you mentioned having all these experiences with like your cast and everything. I was curious what your favorite memory was with Carrie Fisher. If you'd like to share that.
I have a good few. This is the one I shared the most because I think it most reflects who she was. It was the time where I was on a really strict regime and diet, and we had one of those long days. And I remember speaking to Carrie, and she was just like, "What's wrong?" And I was just like, "Yeah, it's just a long day, and in fact, I have to just go home and eat chicken breast and veg. I don't know, it's just one of those days, you know. It's not a life ender, but you know when you just have one of those days." And she said, "Come back in a few hours. I'll have all the snacks you need in my tray, and you can come get them." And she did. And her one thing to me was, you can still be through this experience, and you can have a moment to relax, to think about what has happened before. She goes, "You're a phenomenal kid, and you're in a Star Wars movie so young, you should be able to take in the moment." And so she said that the day like that was a day for me to snack up, celebrate actually being in this. And she said she wasn't going to tell anybody. And she didn't. I came back to set with chocolate streaks on my mouth. Looked at Carrie and she was like, so a phenomenal experience with her. It really felt like you were, you know, being mentored by someone who had the experience and who had gone to places that you hadn't. So it was good to learn from her. Rest in peace.
We're sadly almost out of time, but I do want, before we wrap up, because you are now part of the podcast again, returning guest to Happy Sad Confused, I have some profoundly random questions for you. You have to submit to this, John, I'm sorry. Dogs or cats?
Ooh. Cats. I had a Bengal, so yeah, I had a Bengal a few years ago. Rest in peace, Logan. Yeah.
What do you collect?
Ooh, right now I'm on Pokemon cards and Gundam.
What's the wallpaper on your phone?
Oh, my beautiful woman in my life.
Sorry for the children in the audience, but Dakota Johnson once asked this of me. Would you rather have a mouthful of bees or one bee in your butt?
Give me the mouthful. You ain't going nowhere.
Who's the last actor you were mistaken for?
Danny Kaluuya. But I claimed it too. They was like, "Man, you was good in Get Out." I said, "No, word. I claimed that role. I claimed it, okay? That's my brother. You win, I win, bro.
What's the worst note a director has ever given you?
All the directors I've worked with have been phenomenal. No worse notes.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal. I can't lie. I'm meticulous.
In the spirit of Happy, Sad, Confused, who's an actor that always makes you happy? You see them on screen, you're immediately a happier man.
Oh man, this was so freaking many, but I would go for, you know what? I'll go for a new one. I've been really happy with Timothy Chalamet. I like him, you know. A lot of actors my age, I like to say a lot of people older, but you know, I just like how he's curating his Leo DiCaprio-esque, you know, career. So every time I see him, I'm like, cool, bet man, I'd like to see what you got going on. And he's not just a pretty face. You know what I mean? He's got range, man.
He can sing and dance, he can ride a sandworm.
Yeah.
He can do the
But I just remember there's someone far more greater than that, though. Robert Pattinson, man. I think that's top 5 of my favorite actors, man. Robert Pattinson.
Just the risks he's taking. He's Batman, but he's also doing weird stuff.
But it was, for me, it was about the beginning of his career. No one could ever fathom that he had that much versatility and range. And it kind of taught me as a film watcher, I can't just be on a diet of studio popcorn movies. Like, I get to see my actors do work like on more grounded projects. And I think once Robert got out of the Twilight franchise, he just started going in. Like, Good Times and a few,
even before he was doing these weird Cronenberg movies. Like, I always talk about this.
Yeah,
with you. This
and his accent work is phenomenal. So yeah, Robert, Timothy Woodham, you lot are dope.
A movie that makes you sad, brings you to tears, always.
Brings me to tears, always.
Yeah.
I still can't get over the way Scar did with Mufasa, man. And then they decided to bring it out again and then reminded us of that again. So it's like, I've been reliving the trauma. And then we lost James Earl Jones, you know? So the connection to that and that legacy, always a little tear in there.
And finally, a food that makes you confused. You don't get it. Why?
Get it?
Yeah, why do people eat that?
Oh man, I'm a bit of a vacuum cleaner. I love it. Yeah.
It's like something that get that off my plate.
Oh yeah. I think I was on James Corden one time and they had fried roaches.
Oh no. Well,
but it was a truth or dare game. I had to either tell the truth, and one of the questions was, how much did you get paid on Force Awakens? So I was like, give me the roach. So that definitely no. I know in some countries it's a delicacy, but
suffer for your art.
Yeah.
Dude, you're always killing it. Thank you for sharing this time with us in Chicago. You are one of